Hawa, Barakta Yahusha, Barakta Yahweh, Barakta Yahusha, Barakta Yahweh, Barakta Yahusha. This is your Akim, Adriel Azil, back at you with a quick lesson. I saw this news article published July 29th, 2021, about 10 hours ago. The title of it reads Pentagon calls COVID 19 a threat to national security. Ways make vaccination a requirement. Vaccines are still being administered under an emergency use authorization. Below it reads the coronavirus pandemic is a national security threat, and the Pentagon is considering adding COVID 19 vaccines to the full list of requirements for military personnel, according to a statement late Thursday. The Biden administration has not said it will require COVID 19 vaccines for federal workers and the military, but will force those who are unvaccinated to take frequent tests and take additional steps to prevent infection. Read that again. The Biden administration has not said it will require COVID 19 vaccines for federal workers and the military, but will force those who are unvaccinated to take frequent tests and take additional steps to prevent infection. Salakia. Key word force. This is King James Version, Isaiah 32. Start at verse 5. The vile person shall no more, Salaki, the vile person shall be no more called liberal, nor the churl said to be bountiful. For the vile person will speak valiant, valiant, Salakia, valiant, and his heart will work iniquity, to practice hypocrisy and to utter error against the Lord, to make empty the soul of the hungry, and he will cause the drink of the thirsty to fail. The instruments also of the churl are evil. He devised wicked devices to destroy the poor with lying words, even when the needy speaketh right. Let's go back to chapter 35, verse 5, 32, verse 5. The vile person shall no longer call, the vile person shall be no more called liberal. Um, let's go to, this is, out of the Blue Book. This is Isaiah 32, verse 5. It says the foolish person will no longer be called generous. Let's go into that. Pretty much says the same thing. Shall be no more called the vile person. Let's click on that. Strong's definition.
Strong's H 5036. Naval. Naval.
It says foolish, senseless, fool. Foolish, fool, foolish, vile, person, foolish man, foolish woman, stupid, wicked. So that's pretty much the word we're looking for right here, wicked. So the wicked man will no longer be called liberal. Let's go back to this is a Google search that I previously did. It said, and I titled it I put in the word search in the search engine, the words what is considered liberal in the U.S. And right here it says modern liberalism often simply refers to in the United States as liberalism is the dominant version of liberalism in the United States. It combines adding, it combines ideas of civil liberties and equality with support for social justice and a mixed economy. Let's go here where it says people also ask. Click down. It says what is what it means to be a liberal. Liberals espouse a wide array of views depending on their understanding of these principles, but they generally support individual rights, including civil rights and human rights, democracy, secularism, secularism, freedom of speech, freedom of press, freedom of religion, and a market economy. So that's the general idea of what a liberal person is. They're more inclined to people's you know civil rights, human rights, freedom of speech, press, and all these things that you know we have somewhat today. But let's go back to Isaiah 32 and verse 5. The vile person shall no longer, so like the vile person shall be no more called liberal, nor churl, nor the churl said to be bountiful. So if we go back to the news article, it says the Biden administration has not said it will require COVID 19 vaccines for federal workers and the military, but will force those who are unvaccinated to take frequent tests and take additional steps to prevent infection. So if you force somebody, you're not giving them any type of freedom. You're not giving them the freedom of choice. So these people that are called, liberal and, standing up for, people's civil rights as they advocate throughout their presidency, they run of being a president, the makeup of their whole Democratic Party. It tells you right here in this article, if you force somebody, to do something, you're not giving them the freedom of choice. So that's very anti-liberal. So also the title of this news article, Pentagon calls COVID-19 a threat to national security. So by them making that bold statement, they're considering those that are unvaccinated, you're the threat to national security, more or less. I mean, if you can read between the lines. So eventually, it will start with, these so-called federal, military, or state personnel. Then it's going to trickle down to, everyone. So they're saying they're not forcing no one. I mean, excuse me, they're saying that they're not requiring anyone as of this moment. So like as of this moment to get this COVID-19 vaccine, but you are being forced if you are a federal or military personnel to be tested frequently, and take other precautions. So if they're forcing you to do that, eventually what they're going to force you to do, they're going to force you to take that vaccine because it's not going to prevent this so-called virus from going anywhere. So if they're going to force you to take these precautions, like precautionary steps of being tested and other things like the CDC has been said that they reinforced the the mask mandate. So that's a if you look at that word mandate, it goes back to mandatory. You know, so if they force you to do that, eventually they are going to force you to take this vaccine, whether you like it or not. Um, then that's the precursor, a prelude for the mark of the beast, which is the RFID microchip. So the the scriptures speak loudly. You know, they speak loud and clear, as it says right here in Isaiah 32, verse 5. The vile person shall be no more called liberal, nor the churl said to be bountiful. For the vile person will speak vilely, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, in his heart will work iniquity, to practice hypocrisy, and to utter error against the Lord. So they're being the practice hypocrisy. Let's look up that word hypocrisy.
Hypocrisy.
The practice of claiming to have moral standards or beliefs to which one's own behavior does not conform pretense. So let's look at some of these similar words or synonyms. It said falsity, deception. Let's look at the word.
Deception.
The act of deceiving someone. That's what they're doing. They're deceit.
Deceit.
The act or practice of deceiving someone by concealing or misrepresenting the truth. So that's what they're doing. They're pretty much, as it says in Isaiah 32, verse 6, for the vile person would speak villian, and his heart will work iniquity, to practice hypocrisy, and to utter error against the Lord, to make empty the soul of the hungry, and he will cause the drink of the thirsty to fail. The instruments also of the churl are evil. He deceived, he devised wicked devices to destroy the poor. Who is the poor? The poor are those that believe in Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai with lying words, even when the needy speak of right. So we're speaking upright against this Babylonian beast system. You know, there have been brothers in the highways and byways preaching the true doctrine for decades against this draconian beast system. You know, they're saying that they're all for equal opportunity, freedom of justice for all, but this right here is an act of hypocrisy. They're being a hypocrite. You know, they're saying one thing but actually doing something totally different. So if you force someone to do something, you're taking their freedoms away. Simple and plain. I didn't mean for this to be a long lesson. You know, this was something that I seen, and I just wanted to edify the body with this article through the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shai when I seen this article. So hope the body has been edified. Again, this is your brother, Yakim Adriel Azil. I want to give all honor, praises, and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Kakadash. Salute to the brothers and the men in Akim that I learned this truth from. Till next time, Shalom, Babal Babal.